everybody. It has been a very long time. I'll give it a few minutes for everybody to come in or not. I'm bored. So I thought I would come say hi to everybody. Hello, hello. The crying has begun over here. I think Simon from everywhere. One of my feet is Leo. Simon's up here. Hello, everybody. Just giving it a couple of minutes for people to arrive. And then we'll kind of do a little bit of an update. Because it has been forever. Oh, I need to clip your nails so bad, cat. Would you let me do it? Would you let me do it? You making biscuits over there? Yeah. Hi, Lyrica. Alright, so people I'm sure will trickle in, but let's talk about what's gone on in the last 3 months. Life has been absolutely crazy. Pretty much spent the last 3 months in the hospital. Sheesh. Y'all know I had a feeding tube, right? I got an NJ feeding tube in October. And I kept throwing it up all the time in the ER, fixing that, They finally decided to put a GJ tube in, which is like a surgical tube. And man, was that hell. It was just as problematic as the NJ tube. It literally flipped itself. Like, I've had 6 tubes in 3 months. Counting the NJs, that's 10 tubes in 4 months. But life has been really rough. Nutritionally, I have gone through a lot of shit. Medically, it's been a lot. The last 2 times I've been in the hospital. No. Anyway, let's start at the beginning. They put in a GJ tube. I had it for a few days before it flipped, or before it got clogged. While I was in the hospital, they put they crushed up potassium pills to put it through my tube. And I'll show you guys everything and all that if you want to see, but yeah. So they put potassium pills through my J tube because my potassium was low, and with the J tube, they're like, well, we can just do pills and crush them up and put them in. Well, that's a very bad thing. You can should never crush potassium pills and put them through a J tube because it pretty much turns to a rock inside of the tube and clogs it. And when they were trying to unclog the first tube, they blew a bubble in the tube. I'll show you kind of a little bit of the setup. Let me sit up, so give me 1 minute. But pardon the betadine on my blanket, it's gross. But so this is the feeding tube. Here is this part. This goes straight into my stomach. And there's a G tube and a J tube. And they're all in the same. You can't really see it. I'll have to you can't tell on the camera right now, but the J tube feeds me, and the G tube drains my stomach so that I don't throw up. Yeah, pardon me, my connection is terrible, so if you guys lose me, just check back because I'll restart the stream. Our internet connection has been really shitty lately, and I don't know why. But, yeah, so they clogged my tube, they blew a bubble in it, so in this portion about right there, they blew a bubble in it when they were trying to unclog it because the pressure that they put into the tube, but it was clogged, so it wasn't going anywhere, and it blew it out. And that kind of caused some weakness in the tube. finally, they were going to go replace the tube for that, and ended up when they pushed the contrast through the system to, because they always put contrast through because they do it under fluoroscopy. Hey. When they pushed the contrast through, it unclogged the tube, so we didn't replace it right away initially. But then we had some other issues with it. I think it flipped, or it didn't. We call it flipping, but it coils back in. Some of them do actually flip, where the end of the J tube literally comes up into the stomach. Mine just coils itself into the stomach. But basically, it kept flipping every couple, sometimes it was days. Like, we replaced one tube, and the next day it literally started coiling in my stomach. So we ended up in and out of the hospital constantly with it flipping. The previous stay to this one I went in on the 16th. The previous day to this one, we kind of were like, we tried one last ditch thing. It started acting up again, and they're like, well, we don't know what else to try. This was, mind you, my 5th tube in 3 months, 2.5 months, something like that. Aww. Yeah, it's been crazy. It's been really rough. But I lost, because I'm not eating, I wasn't really getting nutrition in at all. I lost 50 pounds in these last 3 months. I lost 10 pounds just this past hospital stay, but 50 pounds total in the last 3 months. Which is both good and bad. But basically, the last time I was in, before this last day, I just got out on Monday. We've kind of came to the conclusion, okay, the feeding tubes are not going to work for me outside of having a G tube to drain it. And we were looking at, I was on IV nutrition for about 2 weeks. And we were looking at, not being able to use my tube and probably having to go through surgery, which would have been gastric bypass surgery to bypass the paralyzed portion of my stomach. And we were going to have to start the process for that. I then wound up in the hospital in extreme pain. My tube was killing me. Really, really bad. I was throwing up constantly. So I got admitted to manage the throwing up and to, get me stabilized. And in this process, the IR team, which is interventive radiology, it's where they put my port in. It's where they do feeding tubes. There's a lot of different things they do there, PICC lines, anything that has to be done under fluoroscopy, video x-ray basically, is IR. They do a lot of biopsies. They do, what's that word? Where they when you have ascites and they drain your stomach and lungs of fluid and things like that. They do all that stuff. I've gotten to know them very well now because I've been there so much. They all know me. But this last time they actually came up with a plan. Hey, Gabriella. I'm happy to be back. We're kind of talking about where I've been the last few months because it's been a long haul. But I've had to have a feeding tube put in. Lots of things happened. But this last time when I went in, they decided, IR came up with an idea and said, what about if we remove your current tube and make a whole new site? Because the problem is, of the angle at which my tube was in my stomach, it was constantly causing it to coil around and make it not work and make it regurgitate into my stomach because it wasn't down far enough into the intestine. I think my phone's going off like crazy. Where's my phone? There's my phone. I think it's my buddy. Woof. That's a lot of video shit. I'll look at that in a minute. But this last time they decided, let's do a new site for your tube, because if we can get a different angle, it should avoid yes, I do still have a feeding tube. I'll show you guys in a second here what it looks like. I just want to get through this part of the story a little bit. But so they decided, let's try it. And so I went into surgery. It's not really surgery. They do an endoscopy and then they cut a hole into your stomach just big enough for the tube and place it. But it is still surgery in a way. So yeah. So they did that. And so far we have success. I have been doing tube feeds this whole week. No problems whatsoever. I just hit my goal rate for my tube feeds today. And so far nothing wrong is going on, and that's amazing. This is kind of one of the longest stints I've had where my feeding tube works and is doing well. So fingers crossed we figured out the problem, because I really didn't want to have to go in for surgery, because basically with gastroparesis, they have to basically bypass the paralyzed portion of the stomach. And so the plan was to do a gastric bypass. But the problem is that I would still probably have wound up malnourished and needing a feeding tube. Or I would have wound up malnourished and on IV nutrition for the rest of my life. I was looking at probably a good 6 months of it as it was at that time. And gastric bypass surgery is a huge, literally life-altering surgery. And with my body the way it is, with the surgeries I've had in the past, it was going to be really, really dangerous. Hang on one second. Yeah, okay. So coming home last time and basically looking at, we have to go into surgery here in the next few months, was huge and bad. And not this last time, but the time before that, I had a horrible PTSD meltdown in the ER. I was so dehydrated that I was passing out like crazy, but I was also having seizures from the PTSD. I had about 10 seizures that night in the ER. It was bad. It was really bad. But I'm going to go ahead and show you the tube real quick. It may not show up real well for you guys just because of the lighting and stuff, and it's dark out, so I can't really fix that much right now. But I'll give you guys a quick look. YouTube probably won't like this, but oh well, I'm not monetized anyway. But this is where my feeding tube is. There's a piece of gauze around it. Here, I'll take this off for a second so you guys can see. Goes in here, goes right into my stomach, and there's a balloon inside that they fill up with water. And then there's another tube that comes off of that goes down and snakes into my intestine a bit. It's called a J-tube. It goes into the jejunum. Thank you. I made this shirt. I absolutely love it. It's stained to all hell, but I absolutely love this shirt. It's very comfortable. My homemade clothing are almost always my favorites. So currently, I'm not going to show you guys everything, but these are my tubes. The big thick tube is draining my stomach. You do not want to see that. It's gross. It's basically vomit. And then this is my feeding tube, and this is I get water. I get a liter of water pretty much every day. And then I get 4 cartons of feed every day. So this is like all the nutrition I would need. And then this is my little pump here. Ta-da! And it pumps everything into me. So yeah, that's my setup, and it all goes in this little bag. I bought this backpack at Walmart for $3 at the end of school year. Because why not? I'm gonna get a bunch. Do I still have incontinence scissors? Yes. That hasn't changed. They're still the same. But modified my bag. I put in a little belt buckle here, snap it in so it holds those upright, because they have to be held upright. Otherwise, they just fill up with air, or they don't pump right if I don't stand them upright. So I put a little grommet in here. The tubing usually comes through here. I just got lazy and forgot to put it through the hole before I hooked it up to me, and I didn't feel like redoing it. So usually the tubing comes out of this hole so that I can zip it all up and go. And it's on the go. It goes with me everywhere. Okay. I also had surgery the following day after my last tube surgery to replace my port because my port had migrated. This is now my 5th port because I had an infection a few weeks ago. I will answer the diaper questions here in just a second. But my port had migrated into the wrong vein, so they had to take it out and put a new one in. So about a week ago, I had surgery for that. So I'm still healing from that. I'm healing from both surgeries. And right now, the biggest battle is I have 3 blood clots in my right arm. You can't really see anything. It's pretty bruised right here. You can kind of see a little bit of it over there, but I developed 3 blood clots in my arm. I have to do shots twice a day for that. It kills. My arm hurts so bad. It's really, really, really painful, and it's swelled up a lot. Like, you can barely see my elbow right now. You can feel it now. But for days, you couldn't feel my elbow. You couldn't feel the bones in my arm. You couldn't feel the bones in my hand because everything was so swelled up. And that is probably, we're not sure if it was considered provoked or if it's considered I have a clotting issue, because this is now my 4th round of blood clots in my life, I think. So I will see the doctor on Wednesday to determine kind of the course that we go. But for now, I'm doing blood thinner shots twice a day, and it's not fun. I have bruises all over my belly from it. Okay, on to the questions that you guys are asking. Do I still have incontinence issues? Yes. That hasn't changed. I have had less urine output because of they're not properly hydrating me when I'm in the hospital unless I'm on IVs 24/7. So that's been a little bit problematic. I gotta lay back a little bit. Sitting up still hurts. So I've been a little bit on the dehydrated side of life, but now that I'm at my goal rate for my feeding tube, I do still have to get to my goal rate for my flushing. I just have to get 20 milliliters more each time, and that should be in the next day or two that I'm to that point. But yes, still incontinent, still have no nerves to the bladder that are feeling anything. Because of all these issues, basically I have not stopped my oral intake of food, but anything that I do intake orally gets drained out while it's in my stomach. So basically, I don't get any nutritional value from food at all. We recently just upped the amount of calories I get from the feeding tube. I was at 1,600 calories. Now I'm between 18 and 2,000 calories for the feeding tube, because I can't keep anything in orally in my stomach. It all gets drained out. I can drink, but anything I drink comes out of that tube. So it's just to keep my mouth wet, just because I like to drink stuff. It tastes good, that type of thing. But my feeding tube is responsible for all hydration and all oral intake. Or all caloric intake, I should say. Oh, my foot fell asleep. Ouch. But yeah. Okay, what diapers am I using right now? I'm using a mixture of them. Because I have lost weight, I now fit back into Tygables diapers. I was literally half an inch off from fitting them, basically, on each side. So 1 inch off from each side to fit them. Like, I was this close to fitting them. With losing the first initial 30 pounds, I was like, holy shit, I'm going to try Tygables now. And sure enough, I fit them. Which Tygables is one of my favorite diapers as far as fit and functionality goes. Like, it works really good for me. However, I still do use Rears. I can use the Rears XLs as well. So right now, my diaper, this is what I've got diaper-wise. I have some alpacas. I have like 1 or 2 safari left. Losing weight at the moment is really bad, actually, because my weight gain was because of the malnourishment. I gained 100 pounds
in the last 2 years from malnourishment. So the fact that I'm losing weight right now is not a great thing. I'm okay with it because I wanted to be, you know, I wanted to lose weight, but because it's falling off because I'm not eating, it's not great. It's not a healthy way of losing weight. So it's just drastically falling off, but the malnutrition is a problem. So my nutritionist would like to see if we can slow the weight loss down a bit. We shall see how it goes. I'm monitoring it closely. I'm okay with dropping weight. However, because it's not being done in a healthy manner, it's not healthy weight loss. Even though for me, yes, it's better to be a lower weight. But I don't have any reserve muscle. I don't have muscle reserve. I don't have like anything for my body to work with. So the weight it's losing is kind of bad. But it's both a good and a bad thing. I'm happy to be losing weight. I fit better in diapers. I fit better in clothing. There's less weight on my joints. However, right now I'm also really, really, because I've lost so quickly, my strength is almost none. Especially after this last 10 pounds and this last hospital stay, my strength is, I can barely go to the bathroom. I'm that weak and that, you know, far gone. Like it's really hard to go to the bathroom. I can't shower on my own right now because my arm is still messed up and it really hurts. So like my range of motion is not great since this blood clot. So like, but I'm too weak to keep, like I can't like do all the washing of myself right now. Um, in the hospital, I couldn't even go to the bathroom by myself. I couldn't get up to go to the bathroom. So yeah, I'll talk to you about that. I don't know which partner you're talking about, but give me a second on that one. But anyway, I'm using Tykables, and I fit in all of their extra larges. So I have reviews that are going to be coming out soon, you guys. Hopefully, I got to record them, but I've been able to try a lot of diapers that I haven't tried yet, and so I will have reviews coming out. I've tried the Caboose from Rears, the new Caboose. I've got the Straight Ups from Tykables. I've got the Little Rascals from Tykables. I've got the Camo from Tykables, the Waddler from Tykables. Like I've got reviews that I can do, you guys. So I'm kind of excited about that because it's been a really long time since I've had the ability to try a new diaper and review it. So I'm really excited to be able to record some things for you guys and to get things, get some stuff out there. As far as partners go, 6 months ago, almost, I started dating somebody. My current, like the partner, I'm assuming you're referring to Andrew, who was my partner for 9 years. He and I are not a romantic couple. We are broken up as far as that goes. We do still live together. We are still best friends. Um, it was an amicable thing. We're both fine with this. He's engaged to his other girlfriend Hannah that I live with. So not much has changed except for there's not a romantic relationship between Andrew and I. And honestly, in the last 3 years, that wasn't really there either. Like we were a couple, but we weren't sexual together. We weren't really like, we were very platonic in the last few years of our relationship. So not much has changed other than he's officially not my boyfriend anymore. But my current partner, Chloe, and I have been together for 6 months on the 3rd of February. So, yeah, it's been wonderful, guys. My partner, Chloe, is amazing and wonderful. And yes, they are currently an online thing, but we get to meet each other in May if everything works out. We get to meet in person. We've been friends for a year and a half. So, um, but yeah, Chloe became my big 3 months ago tomorrow. And, or sorry, not 3 months ago, 6 months ago tomorrow, became my mommy. And our 6 month anniversary is on the 3rd. We are very happy together. We are so well matched. Like, it's been the most wonderful 6 months I've had in a relationship. Like, it's been amazing. So I do still live with Andrew and Hannah for the time being. I will eventually move out just because of, um, well, Chloe's going to move here. And so we're going to live together with probably my best friend. Um, my friend that I met at the dog park and found out they're little. We're best buddies. She hangs out with us all the time. And the three of us will probably have a place together. Just because mostly the three of us can't individually afford anywhere, but the three of us combined should all be able to afford something. So that is the plan here in the next, probably before October. Because I think the lease for this place is up in October. I'm not totally sure on that. Or August, something like that. It's up, either way. So I do have to move out by that point anyway, and I'm going to look into like different housing assistance and stuff like that to be able to afford a place because I'm on disability, and literally the rent for this place is more than my disability every month. Now, mind you, we could go down to a 2-bedroom type of deal, and it would be like $700-800, but I still couldn't cover that because $300 alone in supplies goes out the door each month for diapers and stuff like that, feeding tube stuff. So yeah, that's awesome. Work has been obviously for me. I haven't been working. My poor customers, I felt so bad for them when I got sick because I was I was getting ready to work on like 13 orders that I had and I got sick. Thankfully, I have the most wonderful customers who literally said, I'm good waiting, just get better. And so a couple of them did cancel their orders, but most of them have said, take your time. And they've waited these 3 months of me being in the hospital for their orders, and they're amazing customers. And I honestly can't wait to get back to it. Once my right arm is a little bit better, we will definitely be getting back to work and getting the Etsy shop going again. I miss crafting, making binkies, all that. I miss it so bad. Um, Plus, the income from it was a little bit nice. Salesforce administration. Nice. That's awesome. New jobs are always exciting. Um, I do have to do a lot of sewing here when I am a little bit better because I've got to make some 2B pads. They're just like these little circular things that snap, and it's like a reusable gauze basically to go around your feeding tube to soak up any of the juice, the gastric acid that leaks out. So I've got to sew a bunch of those. I have to sew some bag covers for my drain bag because I personally don't like looking at my vomit all the time. It's gross. I don't need to see that all the time. And then I need to sew some 2B clips as well. And that's cool. But like, life has been so crazy, you guys. Like, I literally got out of the hospital Monday. I've only been out 2 days. Now, mind you, I wasn't in the hospital the entire 3 months. I had like, a day here, a day there. Sometimes there was only 12 hours between when I got discharged from the hospital and when I wound up back at the ER with vomiting and things like that. So like in a 3-month time frame, I spent 1.5 weeks out of the hospital total. From November, well, and kind of in all honesty, October was spent in the hospital a lot too. But that was more of a you're overnight, you get a tube the next day type of deal. So it wasn't much of October wasn't necessarily a ton of hospital stays, but November on, I've been in the hospital pretty much constantly. I had one time frame, and this was the last time period, was between when I was discharged the previous time and when I went into the hospital this time. I was out for 1 week. That's it. So life has literally been just a whirlwind since October. But fingers crossed, everything is on the upward swing. Yeah, I am so glad to be home. You guys, my poor cat. Leo is okay. Leo doesn't mind because Leo likes pretty much all the people. But Simon is so attached to me. This poor thing I swear to God, you guys, like, you should have seen his face the first time I got home. He, like, I came home and I sat down in my wheelchair in the living room and I didn't go say hi to him fast enough. So he, like, was sitting there meowing at me, like, he won't let me leave his sight. Yeah, there's one right here. He's sleeping next to me on his blankie. And I'll see if I can show you guys Leo. He's right there. But, like, poor Simon, this poor cat, he has just been so sad without me. And every time I did come home, he would literally, like, insist on being in my lap 24/7. Like, I had to be touching him 24/7. I couldn't shower without him being right there and checking on me. I can't go to the bathroom. I can't go to the kitchen. I cannot leave this house. Still, right now, still. Cannot leave his sight. He must be in my sight unless he decides to go to the bathroom or go to play. But that's for a very short period of time, and he constantly is coming in and checking and making sure. Like, when I came home this last week, I went to the grocery store and the dog park one day, and he about had a hissy fit when I came home. Like, he literally must have thought I left him again. And he just was, like, completely, like, you could see the anxiety in his face, and his reaction when I got home was just precious. But, like, he has been so sad without his mama. Well, his daddy. I still call myself mama to them, and I think that's always going to be a thing, even though I identify as male. But yeah, so literally, it's just been, like, I haven't taken my bracelets off yet. I'm a little bit superstitious right now about that, because every time I take this bracelet off right here and this bracelet off right here, I end up back in the hospital that night. So they're staying on for now because I'm being superstitious. I'm just like, no, I can't do it yet. Even though they drive me crazy a lot of the time, but I just can't, because I'm worried the minute I do it, I'm going to go back. So if this gives me some peace of mind for this is how I stay out of the hospital, is I don't cut this thing off. Because this one has been on for pretty much, I think, 3 months straight. No, not 3 months straight. They redid it at one point. This one has been on for at least a month. This one they put on my last hospital, or my last ER admission. Then obviously this was my ER admission as well. But, like, I ain't cutting these off. Nope. Not for like 2 weeks. They're staying there because I don't want to go back in. Sorry, I am really itchy. By the way, this is my new port right here. And this is my old port. This side has had 4 ports in it now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, am I only on my 4th port? No, because they put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah, that's right. They put this one basically in the exact same spot as one of my old ones, because I asked them to, because this one was, like, in my armpit, like, boob armpit, like, hello. It was problematic from the start. This thing wouldn't give blood return. We had to put clot busting medication through it like 4 times. It was problematic from the start. I've only had it for a couple of weeks. But it was problematic from the start, and it migrated, so they had to put a new one in. And when they put the new one in, they're like, oh, we'll just go in the same spot. And I'm like, no, move it up. So they put it in the same spot as the old one, which works. I'm bruised as all heck, but I save all of my hospital bracelets. I have a baggie with them all in there, except for like 1 or 2. But for the last 2 years, I've saved all my hospital bracelets from this particular hospital. The other hospital did a disposable, like, paper version, so I couldn't really keep those because they weren't keepable. They were made out of paper, basically. These are plastic. So any of these bracelets, even the fall risk and the allergy bracelets, I kept them all. Hey, John. But I'm just being my superstitious human being. Right, I'm not usually a superstitious human being, but right now, with this particular thing, I ain't cutting them off. Because every time I do, I wind up back in the ER. And I do not want that to happen. No. So yeah. Give me 1 second. I've got to. Sometimes with my drain, I have to coax it to drain properly because, if I eat food and stuff. Oh, there it goes. It just needed to move. But I don't know if you guys can see it or not. See if it'll show you. You can see how it's moving. That's draining the contents of my stomach. Currently, there's a lot of sediment in there because I drank Coke. Because drinking Coca-Cola helps dissolve things in your stomach, or drinking really hot coffee helps drain your stomach. And I had eaten a couple of things yesterday that weren't draining well. So today I drank some Coke a couple of times, and it's been working real great since then. So yeah, but seriously, this tube saga has been crazy, guys. I have been on so much pain medication these last 3 months. I just can't even. Ugh. The pain levels have been so high. We think that my last tube may have caused an ulcer because it can rub against the lining of your stomach and cause ulcers. We think that might be going on based on the fact that my pain is still pretty high. Mind you, doctors think that adults that get feeding tube surgery will react just like kids who do, and we don't. We do not bounce back like the children do. Pretty much this last hospital stay, I had the worst experience of my life with a doctor. Mind you, I get a new doctor every week when I'm in the hospital because they rotate every week. And I've had fantastic doctors. But I have had some, and this is going to sound really, really bad. And it's not a racist thing. It's an observation I have made. But I seem to have a very big problem with doctors of Indian descent type of thing, like Middle Eastern doctors, because they really have a not great view of women, and they treat me rather horribly when it comes to pain levels and such, and managing pain. I've had 3 or 4 outstanding doctors, most of them female, but I've had 2 male doctors now that were amazing. But it's a cultural difference between the Middle Eastern culture and our culture, where women are seen as second class. Yeah, it's been bad. It's been really bad. This last doctor I had, not last doctor, but the second to last doctor I had in my admission that I got out of on Monday. The doctor I got admitted to the floor with was one that had seen me for a couple of days when I first got in the hospital in November. But he only had me for a day. And this time around, I swear to Jesus Christ, I will be reporting him because he was an abusive bully. Basically, I had my tube surgery, and the following day I had my port surgery, literally less than 24 hours apart. The day of my port surgery, or the day after my port surgery, he tried to discharge me from the hospital. I was not getting up on my own. I was not able to go to the bathroom on my own. I couldn't do anything on my own. And he's like, I'm discharging you home. And I told him, I'm sorry, but I do not feel safe to go home at this time. I don't have help during the day. Plus, my roommate, Hannah, I'm sorry, I draw the line at them wiping my ass. No, they don't do any bathroom stuff with me whatsoever. They don't change my diapers. They don't help me in the bathroom. Even showering, I could handle them helping me shower. That's it. I refuse to have her do any form of toileting with me. And my other roommate, Andrew, works all day long. I couldn't get up out of bed on my own. I couldn't do anything. We have 2 dogs. We have 2 cats. We have a bird. It's winter time. I was not safe to go home. And he basically gave me an ultimatum of either you go home or I take away your IV pain medication. And I'm like, I'm not going home. I am not safe to go home. I will not be discharged. So he discontinued all my IV pain medication, which put me in a very bad tailspin the day after surgery. And he left on Friday. Friday was his last day. And that night that he left, he literally basically bullied my nurse and said, "Do not allow any medication changes. No IV pain, no IV meds whatsoever. No changes." And then my night nurse passed that along to my day nurse passed that along to my night nurse, and she actually was scared to ask the night shift doctor about giving me IV pain meds because I was in so much pain. I was sobbing because he was barely managing my pain in the first place. And then he switched me to oral pain medications, which, it takes time to switch over. And he stopped my IV nausea med. He stopped my IV Benadryl, which is also a nausea med for me. And he stopped my IV pain medication. Basically trying to force me out of the hospital. And bullied me and my nurses. So I will be reporting his ass. And he will never be on my case ever again. Like, I've had doctors who are like, "No, I'm not giving you IV pain medication. I'm not giving you IV Benadryl, like, to help with it." Like, I've had doctors who are like that, but they worked with me. They're like, "Okay, we're not going to have it on there, but if you need a dose desperately, we'll try to give you some." I've never had experience like this doctor. It was the worst thing I have ever seen. And that man does not deserve to be a doctor if he's going to abuse and bully his patients. The aide had told me that day that he tried to discharge like 5 other people who weren't ready to discharge. And it's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? So thankfully, Saturday morning when doctors switched over, I had a talk with my doctor and I'm like, "Look, I'm not drug seeking here. I'm not here because I want IV pain medication." Yep, he needs to lose his license. 100%. But having been in the hospital for 3 months on basically IV pain medication, they're leery of giving it to me. You've been on it a long time. You're going to be addicted. I'm not addicted to it. I know I've been physically addicted to pain meds before. I'm not physically addicted at this time. But I told the doctor that came in, I'm like, "Look, I'm not trying to get drugs out of you right now. I'm trying to make it so I can get up to go to the bathroom. Because I've literally spent 2 days sobbing, trying to stand up, sobbing because I'm in so much pain." And he wouldn't give me anything. Like, I was using a bedpan to shit because I wasn't going to use a diaper because but I was using a bedpan for days because I could not get out of bed to go to the bathroom. It hurt too bad. There's a thing behind that. They put stitches. They put these button stitches in your stomach when they do feeding tubes. And then they fall out after a couple weeks. One of mine was so tight, it was indenting my skin about that much, and pulling really, really bad. So we had to get that stitch out before things fully regulated. But that doctor came in. He reinstated my pain medication for breakthrough pain, and stuff like that. And he worked with me. I'm like, "Look, I want to get out of here as much as I can. I want to be off these medications as much as I can. But I can't right now. I'm in this spot where I can't. And I'm still on pain medication right now because I'm still in a lot of pain. I can't take normal ibuprofen, mind you, guys, because I have the mast cell activation syndrome. They gave me IV ibuprofen one time when I was in there, and immediately my whole mouth went numb and itchy. So, like, I cannot take ibuprofen. So I can't take the normal things. I can do some Tylenol, like a dose or 2 a day, maybe. But they cause reactions because they inhibit DAO, which is a mast cell stabilizer. It keeps your mast cells from degranulating and having a reaction. When that is inhibited by ibuprofen, you have reactions. But the one day that I let them do it was when I was down in the IR waiting to go back for my surgery, and I was in so much pain. I'm like, "I don't care. Give it to me. I'm about to be put under anyway. Give me the medications that you are willing to, because I was in that much pain. That was the day my port surgery was done. I think I was in so much pain that I could not function. I couldn't stop crying. I couldn't sleep. Mind you, I haven't slept that much in the last 3 months as it is, but hey, you know. All right, let me read comments here. Ew. That sucks, John. The diabetic thing, the both feet. Trust me, I noticed that as well at the hospital my dad worked at as well. Yep. I was supposed to be at the dentist routine cleaning Wednesday, but I had a horrible headache and almost got sick, so I rescheduled. I need to get into the dentist. I officially have dental coverage, so now I can get into the dentist and not have to pay an arm and a leg. Someone even tried, does that say bribing or robbing? A dermatologist, sales expert for eyeglasses, being a woman. Yep. Nearly had slugged one of them. Yeah, it's bad. He needs to be fired and not allowed to have that job anymore. Yes, he does. But like my first couple of doctors were female. They were wonderful. Oh, harass. Okay. The first few doctors I had one named Dr. Funk. She was awesome. They listened to me really well. They medicated me. Then I had, I can't even remember her name, but she was Russian, I think. She was amazing. And then the male doctors I had were all these Indian men, and they were just so horrible. Like, they were so, you could tell they had zero respect for women and didn't think they should have their pain managed. And it's like, you've cut into my stomach several times. I've had 5 tubes replaced. I've had 2 tube surgeries. And when you cut into the muscle, even just poking the hole, it really affects it. Plus, that's in the area of my separated muscles from my big ass scar. I have separated muscles. Like, it's extremely painful. And adults just don't react the same way that kids do. We don't bounce back the next day. It takes a lot of recovery. I've talked to many people. Plus, on top of that, I have a connective tissue disease, which makes my healing much slower. So it's like, not everybody, you cannot hold everybody to the same standard. But at one point, when we were talking about gastric bypass surgery, like, they were so focused on my fucking weight. It was not even funny, especially the last two Indian doctors that I've had. Like, they're like, you need to lose weight, blah, blah, blah. You'll get gastric bypass surgery. It'll help with the weight loss, everything like that, you know. This one basically was like, we can't treat your blood clot because we don't know what to give you because your BMI is so high that there's not enough data on it. Which is apparently true. There's not enough data on blood thinners being treated, obese humans being treated with blood thinners to have. So, yeah. But either way, he made such a big deal about my weight, and it's like, dude, I've dropped 50 pounds. Hi, Eli. Thank you. Grandma's not together. Yep. My mom actually had a really bad situation. I don't know if I've shared anything about my mother at all. My mother is an alcoholic, and she went into rehab a few months ago, and came home, was doing okay. She did start drinking again, and she ended up, at one point, she mixed 2 medications, one she'd had in the past and a new one they put her on in rehab. And she had no clue that they interacted so horribly. But when you mix these 2 medications, they cause seizures. And my mom had a seizure while going down the stairs to her basement. And she fell and broke her hip and broke a finger, like really bad break in her finger. She was like, looked like a raccoon. She was black and blue, like she banged herself up. So she had to have surgery on her hip. And we actually had surgery the same day, by the way. Her and I were both in surgery on the exact same day. I believe it was my first feeding tube surgery, but she's coming out of it. She still is drinking some, but she's working on it. She's trying to do better. She's struggling. My mom is really struggling, and it was scary. Like, she called me the night she fell. Like, she called me and she's like, Britt, my face is like, my nose is bleeding constantly. She's like, I don't know what happened. She's like, I don't remember hurting myself, but my nose is just constantly bleeding throughout the day. And she got on a video call with me that night, and I was in shock. Her one eye was completely black and blue surrounding it. She kept telling me my hip is really, really, really hurting. I can hardly walk. I begged her to call an ambulance and go to the hospital. But she was like, I'm going to wait it out. Maybe if I just sleep, it'll be okay. Had no clue what was going on. She took a nap, woke up later, and was in so much pain. She did call the ambulance, and they took her into the emergency room and found out she broke her hip. She broke a finger. She didn't break any facial bones, but like her friends had seen her or had talked to her that day, and she kept telling them her eyes were bleeding, and like it was bad. By the time she got out of the hospital, she literally had a whole circular around her eyes, just so dark, bruised, horrible. And it was bad. It was really bad, but she is recovering. She's really struggling mental health wise right now. She's got a lot of PTSD from rehab just because of the treatment there that she got. And she's really, really struggling. And it's killing me that I can't be there. So my poor mother has been dying, right? Like, she's been so upset. She's like, I wish I could be there. She's like, I would be at the hospital with you 24/7. Like, she's like, you need the support. Because we do live an hour away from the hospital. My roommates, Andrew and Hannah, weren't able to be up there all the time because we have dogs. We have a puppy who's only a year old. She's a crazy thing. So she can't really be left alone. But, like, it was bad. And she was so upset that she couldn't come. But it's like, I was fine up there at the hospital. I had Discord, and I was able to video chat with my partner all the time and stuff like that. So they kept me going and supported. And Andrew and Hannah came up when I needed them. Andrew can't really do the hospital very well because his PTSD from me being in the hospital all the time when he first met me, and taking me with all my seizures and shit. Like, that poor guy can't handle it. But she's doing okay. Her and I have been going through it together in a way. But hopefully I'm on the upturn of things. Okay, Tube, you need to drink. Come on, you can do it. Reminds me of my mom's school she had a month ago. She had Parkinson's. Oh. Damn, that's scary. Parkinson's is a hard disease. Why are we doing this? There we go. I've got to move the tube around because certain positions, like if the tube is up above your belly button, it helps get the gas out. If you put it below, it drains the contents better. I ate Cheez-It Puffs. By the way, those are amazing. Cheez-It Puffs are amazing. But yeah, life has been pretty crazy, you guys, and it's just like, we're hoping that this is the end and we can just happily tube feed and not have to be in the hospital all the time. But like, dropping the weight I have dropped, my God, I did not expect that. Like, all these last 2 years of not being able to eat well, because I was having some oral intake, my body would literally hold on to every calorie it got, and I just gained and gained and gained because it just stored everything, because it was in starvation mode, and it just stored everything. But as soon as I stopped being able to take in orally, there was nothing to store. So it had to start using up the fat. And I dropped 50 fucking pounds, 40 pounds in the first 2 months. Well, 2.5 months. And then this last hospital stay, which was from the 16th to the 24th, I dropped another 10 pounds. So I've lost 50 pounds. And boy, howdy, can I tell.
My body is very different than it was. Like my face is a lot thinner than it was. My strength is just gone right now. Like I'm going to be seeing my doctor on Wednesday, and I'm going to hopefully get into physical therapy because I need it. Or to get physical therapy to come in. I don't know. We're going to figure it out because it's like an hour to that hospital. But yeah. Yeah, I was looking at pictures from a year ago, and I'm like, holy fuck, I've dropped so much weight. Hey, Simon. Hi, Leo. Did you wake up? Did you wake up? Or sneezes? Funny enough, you're talking about the drops and stuff. Like I was on because oh come on, net connection, chill out. There we go. For most people on TPN, your blood sugar goes high. Mine actually drops. Like I was on TPN, which is very high sugar content, and I think my highest blood sugar. Hey Randy, my highest blood sugar I think was 120. Or no, there was one that was 215, but that was like right after I ate food. But and then I bought a blood sugar monitor thing, which I probably still should monitor my blood sugar because I do drop. But I bought it, and then a week later I was off TPN, so I don't have to do it. But I'm gonna keep it on hand anyway because having the ability to know what's going on blood sugar wise is important. But yeah, Randy, it's been a crazy 3 months. I will tell you that much. It has been absolutely crazy. But we're coming out of it, hopefully. Hopefully we figured out the whole tube thing. Hopefully it works permanently now, and I only have to go in if it needs to be replaced. And the tube type that I have, this particular type of tube, can last years without being replaced. And I'm not switching, like there's the option to switch to a low profile button, but I'm not going to be doing that because they're really hard to drain. And I need that ability to drain well. So that's been my lifesaver because I can still eat little bits. I can still drink. So yeah. Functionally, I am definitely. I've lost a lot. I can barely It's a good thing I have a wheelchair, even though I can't get it through my living room right now because of the dog. I'll tell you that story in a minute. But if I didn't have a wheelchair, I wouldn't be able to do anything myself, like at all. I can't even stand up long enough to cook myself some food for 3 to 5 minutes. And my heart rate is my POTS is a little bit like my heart rate is not happy because like as soon as I get up and move around, we're definitely in the 150s, which is it's a POTS thing. We get up, our heart rate goes sky high. But since all this, I did stop taking. The doctors did take me off of my one medication that was kind of to help manage the POTS, but it wasn't really doing anything. It was raising my blood pressure, but it wasn't actually helping the POTS, the heart rate at all. The only thing that really helps that is hydration. We are still doing the IV hydration. But yeah, so the dog story. I don't know how many of you know, but we adopted another dog. Her name is Lyrica. She is a husky Malinois or a Malamute Malinois mix, we think. She's some sort of husky shepherd mix. She's a year old. She is crazy. She has like really bad anxiety, actually, we have discovered. Her previous owner, she was adopted. He died. And then she was put back in the shelter. So she was a very nervous, possibly reactive dog. But Andrew fell in love with her. She is precious, mind you. She is such a sweetheart. She is so sweet. But she is a year old, and she is naughty as fuck. You cannot really leave her alone. She's just naughty as fuck.
the other day, both Hannah and Andrew worked, and Andrew came home at lunchtime to put the dog outside, and he walked into the door to foam from his love sack. You know those big old beanbag chairs, the love sack, the huge ones? He has an off-brand one of those. She tore it open, and there was the foam from that chair is all over the living room. All over. Like, everybody's so overwhelmed about it. They don't even know, it's not cleaned up all the way yet. That's going to happen this weekend. But, like, he walked in the door, saw that, he's like, I stared for like 5 minutes, and then I packed up the dogs and took them to work. Because he's like, yeah, nope, can't deal with that. And then, so that was funny. So we have to clean up that mess. But she's a very naughty little doggy. She's a sweetheart. She is so wonderfully precious. But she is energetic and naughty. She is a year old. She's a year old husky shepherd with anxiety. Things are going to happen. That whole thing, the chair thing, though, what we think happened is we make them these like doggy popsicles with like frozen pumpkin and corn and carrots and peas and sometimes bone broth type of deal. Like, we make them little popsicles. And we give it to them when we're going to be out for a while because it keeps them very occupied. And what happened was probably one melted because she went and sat on the love sack, and one melted into it. So she was probably going to town trying to get it, and she tore it up. We call her the Chaos Goblin because she is literally just, she's so chaotic. She's so crazy. But that's if she's not properly watched. Andrew is not good at training dogs, so she's got some behavior issues because he's not training her properly. But she's a good dog otherwise. Like, she's just naughty, but she's a good dog. She's a sweetheart. Like, she will just hug you. Like, I got in the car. Every time I go in the car, for like, usually the dogs were with us when they would pick me up from the hospital, and like, she would just lay her head on my shoulder and just lick me to death. And like, I'd get home and she'd just hug me, and like, she'll jump up and hug you. She's a really sweet dog. She's a bit scared of men specifically, and women. She doesn't like other humans all that much. It takes some. You have to introduce her properly. But she loves other dogs. Like, at first they told us she was dog aggressive, and we took her to the dog park the first time we had her there, and she did beautifully. She loves it, and now she, like, her best friend Sylvie goes to the dog park, and they play forever. They just run nonstop, and they're sweet as can be. She is a terror to my cats, though. Simon hates her. Straight up hates her. He will literally wake up from a dead sleep and go whack her on the nose because she came in his little zone. Because they're blocked off from my bedroom and the hallway, so they're blocked off from the hallway into the 2 bedrooms down here in the bathroom. So the dogs can't come in here unless we open up the gate. But if she does come in here, Simon will get up and whack her, hiss at her, scream at her. Like, he hates her. Leo actually likes her. They actually kind of play, sort of, together. It's mostly Lyrica puts Leo in her mouth. Her head, his whole head just can fit in her mouth, and she just like slobbers all over him. He likes it. He doesn't mind it at all. He acts like he hates it, and I do eventually break them up if she's being like just a little bit too rough and too persistent, just because he needs a chance to get away. But he does enjoy her. I'm on a blood pressure med and also take chewable aspirin. I crush it because I don't have teeth. I need to ask the doctor if I could just swallow like a regular pill, probably. Also, if you get the chewable kid aspirin, you can dissolve it under your tongue. That's how I take Mesofran. Speaking of pets, my cat Ember just laid on my chest. Aww. Yeah, I had to, kind of evict Simon today because he's just been on top of me all day, and it gets painful on my tube. And then, am I hearing dogs? And it gets painful on my tube and my port. I have been pained. Oops. Yeah. I want mommy, but mommy is having game night with their brothers and their dads. So I have been doing them here. Sorry, I'm looking at Discord real quick. Who pinged me? Where's the ping? Oh my god, there's a lot of messages. I don't know where I was doing. Oh well. But yeah, life has been crazy. Vaping doesn't have any effect whatsoever on me. I'm naughty and snuck vape at the hospital. Because I use this one now, this is with Nick Salt. And Nick Salt vapor dissipates much faster. And I've learned how to vape without having much of a vapor. But yeah, it doesn't really affect anything. If anything, it keeps me sane. Sorry, you guys might hear a lot of computer noises. My fan's going. I am in desperate need of a new computer. I gotta find a way to get money for that because it's gonna need to happen. I had to replace the charging cord, which saved, which was causing a lot of issues. It wasn't charging. It wasn't staying plugged in and all that. Like, it wasn't staying on. It would constantly turn itself off. So I replaced the charging cable, and that has helped that aspect of it. But it still falls out really easily, so I have to tape it in still because there's a broken spot on the top. Yeah, my computer is in desperate need of replacement, like really bad. So we vape Delta. I'm looking at possibly starting to vape not Delta 8, but like Kansas just legalized, like, not legalized marijuana, but they reclassified sativa as a hemp instead of a marijuana. Apparently there's a difference. So they recently reclassified it. So we now have a sativa strain only shop in town that sells like vapes and gummies and things like that. So I will be trying that possibly for pain management if I can handle it. I haven't had much success with weed in the past because I react so poorly to it, but I haven't tried vaping it yet. So I can't do edibles. They don't absorb, obviously. I can't push edibles through my tube. Gummies don't work because they don't break down and absorb. They just sit in my stomach forever. So those are out of the question. I could probably do some sublingual stuff, but I'm just going to try like vaping it and see how it goes. Because I need something to help manage pain. With the connective tissue disease, the joint hypermobility, it's a lot of pain. And I'd rather not have to be on narcotics if I don't have to be. So we'll see how it goes, if it works. I'm going to try my friend Autumn's first before I buy anything. I wish they would just legalize weed here, but it's Kansas. Kansas shocked me when we had the abortion ban vote and stuff. I was shocked that it didn't pass. So, but still, marijuana is just a little far out there for Kansas yet, apparently. But we're getting there. I have tried a bong. It did not go well. Yep, exactly. Same here. I say just legalize it. CBD is legal here, but nothing with THC. Okay, that's not true. They legalized Delta 8 a couple years ago, which is like 0.03% of THC or something like that. Very tiny amount of THC. I tried some different candies with that, and it didn't go well because I didn't absorb it at all. Like, I got no benefit from it. So I'm hoping with the little bit stronger stuff that we'll get some benefit from it without the bad reaction if I vape it. So we'll try. Yeah. Kind of. It's not even legally. medically illegal here. I don't think. Yeah, no. But anything hemp derived is legal. So sativa, basically. Now I know sativa is the one that's more of the uppy one. It's the other one is the one that makes kind of calms and takes you down. But yeah, same. I have had some allergic reactions to it as well. And it presents not my normal allergy way. So yeah, I have learned that I do not do well. I cannot smoke it. That's for sure. I cannot smoke straight marijuana. Ooh, yeah. I don't. I don't think that's how I react. I more react like um, the anxiety side of reactions. I don't know if you know this, but when you're going through allergic reactions, especially like actual anaphylactic reactions, um, anxiety and panic attacks can actually be a symptom of the allergy. So, yeah, it's bad. But yeah. Oh my god, my meds are not kicking in real great today. Yeesh, mini Charlie horses through the vents. Icky. No, thank you. Damn. Yeah, no, I don't. I react very poorly to it if I am not doing the right strain in the right environment, weed wise. The less strong stuff I don't have a problem with, um, as far as I know. I didn't react to it when I ingested it. We'll see how I do when I inhale it through a vape. Um, but straight up smoking a joint, I can't do. Smoking it from a bong, I can't do that either. Edibles, I can't do. Because, like, literally, I eat it and then, a minute later it's draining out of this. So, it wasn't even on purpose. Someone left edibles in the community kitchen fridge. Oh no. That's the worst. Bowls? Sheesh, I did 2 hits off a joint and I was high as a fucking kite. I will say this, the last time I smoked weed was like, what, 2 years ago? 3 years ago? And I did have excellent pain relief from it. And I only did like 3 hits off of a joint. Yes, I'm drinking soda. I'm trying to dissolve shit in my stomach. We tried using Coca-Cola to unclog my tube. And this last time I had a clog. The doctor, when they did potassium this last time and clogged it, thankfully we got it unclogged without much problem. But we were like, well, let's try putting Coca-Cola through it because that's like one of the remedies. Put Coca-Cola through your J-tube and it'll unclog it. The nutritionist is like, please don't ever do that again. That can eat away at your tube. I'm like, oh shit. Well, that just pushed all that through. Nice. See, when it comes to soda, I don't even know if it's showing yet, but there's so much air and carbonation that it takes my drain bag and blows it the fuck up like a balloon, and it's hilarious. But the pressure from all that causes the contents to back up into my stomach, not the J tube, but the G tube. And it backs up into my stomach. So soda is not on my list of things that I regularly drink, because it blows shit up. Don't judge. Barks is the best root beer. Andrew thinks that A&W is the best, but I personally prefer Barks. Like me when I have too much cheese. I love cheese. I don't digest cheese, but I love it. It becomes a little bit problematic in my tube now, though. So, I can no longer eat tomato seeds. They clog my tube up. They don't go through the tube. It's too small of a hole. But I can still enjoy tomatoes. I've never been much of a soda person in the first place. I much prefer like sweet tea. But since my whole tube fiasco, I have become non-addicted to caffeine. I still drink coffee, but I drain my coffee. So I'm not addicted. I'm not addicted to caffeine anymore. Oh, let me look at my phone. I would rather do that than. Um, nope, that's the wrong app. If the end of your tube is unfit, then it won't matter if the bag has a wide opening or not. The unfit connector will be too small to drain what you wanted to do. I know. It drains. Uh, but yeah. Just like Facebook. Drink a pot of coffee and go to sleep. I can now because it all drains. Can't have caffeine to get sickly from it. Oh, that's a bummer. Coffee, I've always drank coffee. I started drinking coffee when I was like 13 because I was having headaches all the time. I was having migraines fairly regularly. And so I started drinking it because of that. Then college happened and I was drinking it a lot. And I've always been a coffee drinker. I love coffee. It just tastes so good. Um, but now that I'm draining my stomach 99% of the time, I don't absorb it. It would just sit in my stomach anyway and then not be absorbed. So, yeah. Oof. I basically went cold turkey. Um, Not on purpose, but I did. So, Leo is looking so cute right now. He's so adorable. Hey, Simon. Did you wake up? You heard something? Anyway. I have been like so exhausted yet not sleepy. Oof, that sucks. I don't know if you guys know my grandpa passed away this year. Have I told you guys that? I would recommend a walker, John. I have one. I have a wheelchair. The physical therapist at the hospital wanted to get me another walker. Um, I'll probably just buy one. But yeah, my grandpa passed away this year. Wait, this year? No, not this year. My grandpa passed away few months ago. Right before all this went down, he passed away. I don't remember what I've told you guys. It's been so long. I don't remember what I need to update y'all on. But hopefully, I'll be able to do some diaper reviews here in the coming weeks because I've got plenty of them to review. I've just been so happy to be back in Tykeable's diapers. Like, they don't work great for in the hospital because the doctor or the nurses are not used to those diapers very well. They're not used to the high end, have a landing zone type of deal diaper. They're not used to the hybrid between Velcro and plastic. So they suck at putting them on. But for the most part, I did it myself. The only time I wasn't able to do it myself was this last time I was in the hospital after my last surgery, and they had to help me because my blood clot arm is being a butthead. As you can see, I definitely have like reduced range of motion. Like, it's a lot lower than this one. I can't fully extend and reach for stuff yet. And mind you, a few days ago, like 4 days ago, I couldn't use this arm at all. Like, it was just so swelled up, it could barely move. Since the blood thinners, like, they have you on a low dose blood thinner when you're in the hospital anyway, usually. But then once they found my blood clots, they kicked it up into high gear. And since then, it's gone down. The swelling has gone down. I've worn like 2 or 3 straight ups, and I love them. I have a lot of diapers right now as well, because when the month came around, when January 3rd came around, I was like, how many diapers do I have left? And Hannah's like, I only see like 1 or 2 packs left, so you need to order. Well, she forgot to look in a spot in the living room, and I had a lot of diapers. So I have an excess of diapers. In my day, before I got sick, I used to bike 6 miles a day. Like, I used to be an exceedingly active human being before I got sick, especially when I moved here and got sick, everything changed. Like, I just went downhill, year after year after year. And this last 2 years has been really rough. So I'm to the point now where I basically need an aid to do things. I know I will gain more strength back once I'm, get some nourishment in me a little bit more, and I will gain some strength back, but it's going to take a lot of work. This last round of things, this last 3 months has really, really hit me hard. We actually looked into getting me a recumbent bicycle, but they were way too expensive. But yeah, I think I'm going to see if Andrew will help me shower so that I can get a shower, because tomorrow is port day. So but I need to go potty. I need to shower. I haven't actually showered in a week or more. When did I go in the hospital? Hang on, let me see. So 1 week, and so it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's been about 11 days since I've showered. Like, actively showered. Yeah. I haven't been called Binky in a long time. Not many people call me that anymore. That means you're a back in the day person. Speaking of Binky, yeah, my Binky. You like my Binky? I don't know if I showed you guys this one. Oh, right. Okay. But there it is. Mommy always calls me her little coffee bean. So we did this into coffee beans and little bean. This is my favorite Binky. I have like 30 Binkies, and I use one of them. Oh yeah, we changed my name on Adisk, by the way. Moo changed my name to Kai now. Actually, Andrew, you'll know this, Silent, if you're on there a lot. Andrew is now a mod on ADISC. He's he kind of let it, like when he first started, he let it kind of rule him. Like he's like, I'm busy doing stuff, and I'm like, no, you don't. Just because you became a mod doesn't mean you have to disappear in the household. Yeah, I hop in the chat every now and then, like the voice chat every now and then. I don't do anything on the website really, and I'm in the Discord a little bit. That's good. But ADISC is the place where I met most of my partners. My first boyfriend was local, but then my following two partners after that were all met on ADISC. Hannah, we met on ADISC. I think that's where we met Jamie, our ex Jamie. Like, but yeah, most of my relationships have happened with people I met on ADISC. Mommy, I met somewhere else. I met Mommy through a different Discord. Yeah. Met Mommy through Crinkly Crib, and met one of my best friends through there too. She's awesome. She's my buddy. We're naughty together. We are, because for a little while, for a few months, her mommy was also my mommy, and we were just naughty as fuck together. We get into a lot of trouble when we're both little. We still do, even though we don't have we're in like a group chat with both our mommies, and we get in trouble. We get in trouble a lot because we harass each other like mad when we're little. It's kind of fun. But this last year and a half has like brought a lot of people into my life, and really good friends, and I'm really glad I met, like, obviously met my partner, my current partner through there. So yeah, I'm so excited for May, you guys. You can't even believe how excited I am. If it all works out, oh my fucking god. See, my partner Chloe lives typically they split time between Sweden and Malta, like Italy area. So they're currently in Malta. They came they come into the US every year, but this last time was just too short of notice to be able to go see them. But this year they're coming in May, and then probably again we'll go see them when they come in to the US in September, I think. And then hopefully at the end of the year they're moving back to the States. And in with me. And I cannot fucking wait. I have been collared. I'm not wearing it currently because I was in the hospital and I haven't gotten the chance to put it back on yet. But I have been collared officially. And we are happy as can be. It's only like a few days till our 6-month anniversary, and it's hard to believe that it's been 6 months already. It's one of those things where it feels like we've been with each other forever, but also, how has it already been 6 months? There's a pun about being a small little world. Yep. Well, it's kind of funny when with all the ABDL servers that I'm in, I've run across the same people a lot. It's kind of funny. But I don't know. I haven't run across many ADISC people, which is surprising. And I think it's because the generation of littles, like, there's the 30 and above that are kind of like, not necessarily, but like, ADISC was more common, a few years ago. It was the only real, like, there weren't Discord servers everywhere for littles. Now there is. So, like, there's the generation that was like forum and internet based and just hitting the beginning of like the text chats and the voice chats and stuff. And then there's this generation where it's primarily through like Twitter and Discord and things like that, But yeah. I'm that type of human being where, like, I am 36 now. I don't seem 36. Like, if you really look at my developmental stage, I am maybe 20s, mid 20s, maybe. Just with the autism and everything, it's like I'm definitely delayed, very much so. I can't believe I'm 36 years old. My partner is only 21. Yes, we are 14 years apart. No, we do not give a shit. My partner is also for my partner and I. It's kind of an interesting situation because they also have DID, so they have multiple personalities, and a lot of the alters are in their 30s. Um, so like while they're physically 21, mentally they're definitely more on my level. Yep, you never know who you'll meet. Exactly. I honestly I don't join a lot of the Discord servers, and the ones I do join, a lot of them I leave because it's just a lot of petty bullshit that I don't really want to deal with. It's a lot of clicks, and I don't like that. Um, I will answer that comment in here in a second. But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and go, guys. I gotta start getting ready for bed. I gotta switch over my feeding tube bag. Which, if you guys want to see stuff like that, I'll make some videos about like life with a feeding tube and things like that. Um, just kind of how I do things now. But yeah, I'm gonna hopefully wake up. I think Andrew's probably asleep. Let me see. Is he asleep? Or is he awake? Let's see. Oh, he's online. Oh, he's awake. Okay. Okay, good. Well, good. I will get him down here to help me get a shower. Because I would really love to shower before port day tomorrow. Now, I may only leave it access tomorrow, though, so it might not be that big of a deal. But I'd like to take a shower. Work on I have hospital feet, which means I have layers and layers of dead skin built up and shit that have to come off. And I just need a shower. So, yeah. But I'm going to go ahead and go. So, hopefully, it won't be too long before I'm back on. I know I spend a lot of time. The timing for being in lives is probably going to change a little bit just because of the time difference between my partner and I and when we can talk and stuff. So, it'll probably change a little bit while I'm not working. Once I'm working out, it'll be a little bit different. But, yeah. So, thank you all for coming in and letting me catch you up on where I've been. I've missed everybody. I've missed streaming and working and all this shit. I've missed life in general. I was literally in the hospital for every single holiday. I was home for about 12 hours from Christmas Eve to Christmas Day. But like Thanksgiving and my birthday were on the same day. I was in the hospital for that, in the hospital Christmas Eve, in the hospital Christmas, in the hospital for New Year's. Like, I've literally been in the hospital for every holiday. So we didn't do Christmas or New Year's or anything like that at all. Like, at all. So yeah. But anyway, thank you guys for hanging with me, and I will definitely be back hopefully soon. I can't guarantee it because while I'm recovering, it's just like I don't have that much energy. Like, even though I'm just sitting here, it does take some energy to stream, but hopefully I'll be able to get some videos recorded and up here in the next few weeks so that I can give you guys some reviews on my thoughts. But yeah, I will see you all. Thank you for hanging around, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.